If a family were to go on a long drive at night in the dark and it was a dangerous road, the man would probably drive. That's accepted over here. If I say that in the West, I'm sexist. The idea that a man is responsible for financially providing for his family and physically protecting his family, that's completely accepted over here. In the West, I'm a misogynist.
Andrew Tate is one of the most talked about individuals in the world. He was literally the #1 most Googled name about a month ago. So everybody in the world was looking to see who is he, what has he done. And today I seen a notification where like a meme talking about he is banned from media, like all websites took him off and he's basically banned. So I'm like, yo, what's that about? Because I watched an interview with him about a month ago. So what Andrew Tate basically did was genius to go viral. He just mixed some Kevin Samuels with a little bit of trolling, controversy, like main clickbait topics. And he basically hit that trigger when it come down to men and women relationships. Like, men and women aren't equal. Science tell you man and woman is not equal. We just not. But, you know, it's like, oh my God, women, oh, you got the feminists. Oh my gosh, we are equal and all that type of stuff. So he basically will mix it with a little bit of harsh truth that most people really is scared to say, because if you tell a woman she fat, and you gonna probably, you know, is gonna get some drawback to it, like my man that's that talked about Lizzo. So it's just interesting. So I found a interview he just did with Tucker Carlson, and it was interesting. So I'm gonna pick some parts of it because I think it was like a 45-minute interview. You can watch it. I'll probably have a link for it. But what I'm going to do is give a reaction to certain parts with my thoughts. Do I agree? Do I disagree? And we're going to get this thing popping. All I ask in return is hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Some parts I might beep out because I'm not trying to get, look, I'm not rich enough to be banned. So I'm going to have to sugarcoat some of my philosophies because I can't talk 100% how Lando want to talk, because if they are willing to like snap a fingers and make people disappear, they can do that shit with me too. Let's get it. And so we're going to do the introduction, like who is he, for the people in the back that have no idea who is this brother. Let's first find out that part.
So why do you think, and this is a sincere question because I don't know the answer, why do you think you were banned from the internet?
I was banned from the internet for having massive influence over the youth and for not aligning myself with the liberal degeneracy in which they want me to purport to the young people of the world today.
So I want to get much deeper into that, but I'm just immediately amused by the phrase liberal degeneracy because, of course, they're accusing you of degeneracy. So you're saying that you exposed how degenerate they are, and they are, of course, completely degenerate. What did you say that they couldn't tolerate?
Well, this is the thing that's interesting. I don't really feel like I've exposed anything. Like, I'm truly not a very political person. This is the first time someone's experienced this level of ban. I'm not particularly right-wing. I don't vote. I mean, I obviously have my own personal views, but they didn't ban me for that. They banned me simply because I had large swaths of the population agreeing to very traditional masculine values. Teenage men and young men, 22, 23, 24, were looking up to me and aspiring to be like me. I have a very traditionally masculine life. I have fast cars and a big house and a lot of money and a beautiful girlfriend. And they thought this was very, very threatening. And for some reason, they decided that it's better if they annihilate me from the internet and replace me with somebody who's more aligned with whatever they're trying to purport.
Wow, that is very interesting. So the first thing Buddy said is they are banning me because number one, I'm not political. This is not Donald Trump. They banned this is the first time we've seen it in this generation is with Donald Trump. We didn't even know they can ban somebody from Twitter or social media like that. So he like, I'm not in no power of influence. So why are they banning me? Because I have a strong voice for the youth. Now, number one, my thing is I go to history. Y'all know I'm big with black history and stuff. Whenever you had a strong black voice that would speak up, that would completely disrupt the world or the agenda, what everybody wanted, what did they do? Martin Luther King, what did the government do? Did the FBI infiltrate Malcolm X? To Marcus Garvey? We can go all the way so far. So, we keep on going for years on that. But with this generation, they don't do that. They just completely pull the plug of your communication and your access to be able to talk to the people. So it's very interesting why he believed he was basically banned. And my philosophy is that he started speaking against C19. We all seen it. Whenever you looked at Reza Islam, he's been banned like 8 times. You see Farrakhan, anybody that start speaking negative about C19, and it's $1 trillion industry that they've been pushing. I seen the finesse was in from the beginning. People thought I was crazy. Lando, just go and get your shot. I don't seem too smart. So once he started talking about that, they like, oh no, we got to completely shut him down. And you got to remember, he's the #1 most Googled person in the world. So the feds, everybody's going to be wondering why everybody is checking you out. Let's carry on.
And I worked very hard. I went to school. I obeyed. I was never a criminal. I was never a juvenile. I was never a delinquent. I trained very hard and became a professional kickboxer. Became 4-time kickboxing world champion. I retired from the sport, moved to Romania, which is a beautiful country full of beautiful people. I like it very much out there. I prefer Eastern Europe as a whole. I spent a lot of time in Budapest, Hungary also. And I've been living out here ever since. I started a YouTube channel, got an online presence on YouTube, and now I'm banned. That's a very short version, but that's basically what happened. And I've been banned for the reasons I've told you. I think I inspire men to resist the programming of the slave mind.
But how did you go? I mean, from my perspective, and I'm 53, so I miss a lot, but all of a sudden you seem to be everywhere and in every conversation. How did you go from kickboxing to advising young men online? Like, how did that evolve?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I became the most Googled man on the planet recently, so I guess by some metrics you can call me the most famous man on the planet. And that happened very simply because I think that young men are looking for someone aspirational to look up to. I can only speak from my own personal experience, but young men we like to emulate our heroes, and we look at somebody who we want to be to some degree, and that's the kind of person we're going to listen to. And without that element of I want what he has or I want to be like he is, it's very difficult for young men to listen to anybody. And I think that there was a gap in the market. There's not very many people who are out here with a truly aspirational life and truly speaking their mind, right? Because we live in the digital world now where most of the famous people are very afraid to talk. A lot of the people who do talk freely are saying things that a large portion of young men don't really want to hear and don't resonate with. And I think I just stood up and started saying the things that all men think. And I also combined it with some clever delivery, a degree of humor, comprehensiveness. I worked very hard on my social media presence. And
this is what I told y'all in the beginning. Since I study social media, I can see exactly what he did to gain his power, to gain his fame. Nothing he said is false, to be honest. Is literally, it wasn't that hard. And with young men, yes, they want the truth. Whenever you talk the truth, the harsh truth, it's literally, you look at Kevin Samuels' situation. He completely blew up overnight. He did for years of talking to men. His channel went nowhere. He pivoted his channel and started talking about women and what they need to do better. His stuff completely skyrocketed because he like, yo, men have been told the truth. You fat, you're ugly, you're broke, you're a scrub, whatever it is. But if you tell a woman, hey, you need to lose some pounds and you got too many baby daddies to be trying to get with a high value man, you do that, it's like, oh my God. So he basically did it very smart. And, I like it.
Also threw in some locker room talk. Like, I understand very well why the social media companies have chosen the misogynistic angle. But the things I was saying, really, I don't think were that offensive. I'd say, oh, women can't park, or something that every man said in the locker room 10, 15 years ago. It's truly not that genuinely offensive. And it's just spiraled now to the point where I'm the most famous man in the world, and there's thousands of TikToks saying Andrew said women can't park. It's just crazy. It's truly media sensationalism. And they've tried to do that because they want that all these narratives pushed so they can ban me. But 95% of my content is purely just about mindset, fitness, training. There's nothing to do with the things they're accusing me of. Nothing at all.
So they've hit you pretty exclusively, from what I can tell, as you just said, on the women question. You hate women. What is your view? Again, I want to let you speak for yourself.
So, and this is a really good question. And I think in the modern world today, it's very unfortunate that if you tell the truth about certain things, people are going to label you certain things. But I'm just going to be very honest here on this platform. I absolutely love women. I have nothing against women. I've said many times on many different podcasts, which they seem to want to ignore, that my mother's a hero of mine. I have nothing against women on any level. I think that men and women are different. I think that we have different skill sets. I think that women are much better than men at certain things and vice versa. And I think that if we work together as a team, that we can be a beautiful synergy. I think that's how society functions best, when a man takes his role seriously and a woman takes her role seriously and they work together as a team. And I think that that's how society's always been for the longest period of human time. I think outside of the West, that's the way the society still is.
But unfortunately, women nowadays is cringing watching it, hearing the word roll. Just hearing, oh my God, I got to have a roll. Like, they're cringing.
I don't think it's really controversial to say that men are, for example, physically stronger than women, and women are, for example, more empathetic than men. I don't think that's controversial. Somehow that's managed to end up super controversial, and I've been accused of being sexist and misogynist and all these terrible things. But I truly believe these things, and I don't believe them in a negative connotation. I really don't. I think a man has a duty to provide for a female and protect her and take care of her. I think that it's a beautiful thing when a man does that. And I think the majority of women want a man who does that. I don't think they want a man who wouldn't do that. But by stating these things and saying these things, they have managed to twist my words and change them into the idea that Andrew says women shouldn't have jobs, they should only live off their man's money. Or Andrew said that men are strong, so women's opinions don't matter, or all these other crazy twists of my language. And it's truly just been internet sensationalism.
We get what he's saying at this point. It's like, look, they taking my words, they mix them up. We understand that's the new social media. That's how it goes.
You made a couple references to the mental health of young men, and you just said you encourage them not to take drugs, which strikes me as the right message. Why do you think so many young men have mental health problems right now?
Well, this is the problem, is that the majority of young men in the world today are completely invisible. And social media has made them invisible. If you go into an Instagram feed, you have extremely beautiful women, which is fine. They're beautiful. They're allowed to take pictures. But the only men who have followers are men with massive social status, right? Men with Ferraris and money, or rappers, or people who have YouTube channels, interesting people. If you're a normal man with a normal job, you don't really exist in the online world. It's very difficult to get followers. Nobody replies to your DMs. You don't really matter. You don't have access to the sexual marketplace. It's very difficult for you to even get any kind of recognition that you're even alive.
Ooh, man, drop the mic on that one. Like, where's the lies told? Like what lie did he just tell right there? Just let's keep it funky. Let's completely kick it real quick. When I'm old enough where I remember life without social media and now life with social media, we didn't have mental illness and therapy in our high schools and stuff. These kids have it now because they get on a phone and they just see perfection. They just see everybody with the best cars, money, phones, and all the woman is perfect. Everybody gonna double tap. You just see the biggest asses. You're gonna see the best breasts, perfect face, plastic surgery, and they only is paying attention to other ballers. So you get the average Joe have no chance. So they thinking like, man, I got to do something illegal to get some money. I got to do something troll-like or do something crazy to get a bunch of views for people to actually like me. It's funny because I was talking to my friends the other day that started content creating, and I was like, yo, why did y'all choose to do X, Y, and Z? Because you have to spend money to make content. Mine is just, I read some news, react to something. It's free content versus y'all having to spend money and you're not making money. It's not smart. And he broke it down to me, and both of them was like, well, in this lane, people only care on TikTok or Instagram about cars, hoes, clothes, the nicest restaurants. And I was like, damn, all right. Chose the wrong industry. But let me know what y'all thoughts in the comments about that.
And a lot of men feel lost and lonely because of that. And I was championing to a degree their issues by saying to them, look, that is unfair perhaps, but that's the way the game works. You need to become a man of importance. You need to become a man of influence, or you're going to suffer the pain of being invisible forever. Here is how you do it. I wasn't trying to change the rules of the game. I was just telling the men how to win, because I came from nothing and I'm completely and utterly self-made. And I think the reason a lot of men are so depressed is because they feel invisible. They feel like the life is too hard. Women expect me to be strong and smart and funny and interesting with a nice apartment and a fast car and tall and well-connected and funny. And it's just too much for them to handle. And the social pressure on men is absolutely immense. And I was championing their issues. And at the same time, all these social media platforms pretend to care. As soon as somebody they resonate with stands up and champions their issues, they mass blanket ban me, which shows they have absolutely no care for the young men of the world today. They think that by banning me, I'm just going to vanish and the young men are just going to go and start eating the gruel that they're fed on their YouTube feed. They don't want to read. They don't want to see transgender people wear makeup. They don't want to see that. They want to see a man who has a bunch of money and a nice life and some fast cars and is strong and is confident. They want an action hero. And that's something that large portions of the world still want to be. And YouTube and social media platforms obviously just don't like the idea of that. They want to get rid of me and try and replace me with something they see as far more malleable.
You've said that you prefer living in Eastern and Central Europe, Bucharest and in Hungary. How are the attitudes there different about men, do you notice, since you've lived in the UK, the US, and now there?
It's actually very interesting because the things I say, which are deemed controversial in the West, are completely normal and standardized here. It's completely normal for the idea of, if a family were to go on a long drive at night in the dark and it was a dangerous road, the man would probably drive. That's accepted over here. If I say that in the West, I'm sexist. The idea that a man is responsible for financially providing for his family and physically protecting his family, that's completely accepted over here. In the West, I'm a misogynist. It's truly crazy. The place I live is not even the reason my views are what they are. It's just, I think a lot of people actually agree with me. I think it's just a very, very vocal minority which have decided to purport this idea that I hate women. I don't know in how many ways to state that I don't hate women. There's no evidence I hate women. No women are coming forward saying I've ever done anything. There's no evidence at all. It's just TikToks edited up to make me look bad, made by people I don't know, and the media latching onto it and deciding, you know what, it's over and everyone's bored of Ukraine, so let's hate Andrew Tate for a while. And hopefully next week they'll find something else to talk about. But it's truly asinine. It's immature. It's childish. And banning me from social media, as we've discussed, is bad for the world. I truly believe that. And I really think it was a mistake. And I think it was a mistake because I think this is the first time the social media companies have banned someone for a non-political reason. And it's really got a lot of the young people of the world thinking now. And they're sitting and thinking, going, okay, well, the politics stuff, that's kind of like, you know, older stuff. But why are they banning him? Like, why are they, is this what they do when you become influential? Why have they really banned him? I've had over 100,000 emails of support since my banning. And the young people of the world today are going to wake up from this banning in a way that they've never woken up from any others, even Trump's. I really do believe that because they're seeing their hero banned for basically no reason. And they're understanding that there's something else going on. And I think they've overplayed their hand on this particular time.
That's very interesting. He said all he just did was tell young men how to become high value, how to level up, how if you want the good looking woman, if you want the cash, you want this is what you need to do. Now, I know he had Andrew Tate University or Hustlers University or whatever it is. You know, it's only $50 a month, but I didn't look into it. I didn't sign up for anything like that. And everybody got their different hustles. But that's interesting because outside of that, what have my man did besides be controversy on social media, which is 90% of people on social media, Bootsy or something, you know, like, Jesus, that's tough. We almost getting to the end.
You probably made some of these companies mad with your views on. So sum up for us if you.
Now, before we talk about this, I'm going to beep out every C word so they won't flag this video. Just know they send the C word.
What you think the response to globally did to the populations of the West?
Yeah, so I certainly made them mad with my views on. I don't want to go to conspiracy theory, and I would also never kill myself. Let me just say that here for the record. But okay. At the time of COVID, first being announced, my brother and I decided we sat and had a very logical conversation, and we sat and said, we're two young fighting age males. If it can kill us, then the world is over. It's zombie apocalypse time. So there's no point hiding. We may as well go out with a bang. So my brother and I flew to Stockholm, Sweden. Now, I don't know if many people know this, but Sweden never closed down. Stockholm and Sweden never closed down, never made you wear masks, never mandated the vaccine. At the very beginning of when the rules were strictest, when Florida was still closed, when Miami was still closed, when the Republican states were still closed, Stockholm, Sweden was wide open with full nightclubs and a party scene like you've never seen. And we lived in Sweden for 3 solid months with zero restrictions, zero worry or interest in it. It was like the world was completely normal. And from there, when we left, obviously it was still going on. And in a neighboring country, you go to Germany, and they were having full panic attacks, genuine panic attacks if you didn't have a mask on. And it was just very obvious to me. I was like, I've spent the last 3 months ignoring this, and I'm fine. And now I'm in Germany surrounded by panic attacks and endless masks. This doesn't make sense. And I told the truth on social media. I said, this is obviously an overreaction, the decimation of your income, the fact you can't go get a doctor's appointment for a genuine ailment or a genuine risk of cancer, for example, the fact that you can't see your loved ones in their final days. These things are far more destructive than the common cold. I think that what they're doing is unfair. I think it's a massive overreaction. And this is based on my personal experience. And I think at the time there was a lot of pushback, but I would like to think now that 99% of the world see I was totally right. You know, it's kind of funny, Tucker. I'll tell you, when at the height of it, I used to say to my brother, how will people struggle with the cognitive dissonance when this is all over? Because it is still out there. Nothing's gone away. The thing that we were all hiding from is still right there, out there to get you. But now everyone walks around and they're not scared of it anymore. And I'm like, are people critical enough to analyze themselves and say, for a year of my life, I was deathly afraid of something. Now I'm exposing myself to said thing and I'm not afraid anymore. The media tricked me and I was a fool. But they're not. They don't even seem to self-analyze and go, I got tricked. They're just like, oh, okay, next thing. Hey, Andrew now. Like robots. It's mind-bending to me, truly.
So you guys can go watch the full interview. Now he have a website. All right, it's freetopg.com. And he basically doing his final message on Venmo, giving his perspective of exactly what's going on, right? It's about an hour long. Now, I'm not going to comment on that last part because, look, powers that be, I love YouTube. I love you. I'm going to behave and be a good Lando for the most part. I am, you know. So what's y'all thoughts about this, man? The most interesting man in the world is now banned from all platforms. My personal belief is I don't like it because I realize since in real life and on certain social media platforms, I'm a controversy person. I'm okay with you not agreeing with me. I'm a debater. So you can have your perspective. I can have mine. We can debate. Whoever win the debate win. And we can disagree to agree. You can be a Trump supporter. I can be a Biden supporter, or vice versa. And we can still go out for a beer. It's just one area that we disagree with. I believe the times we live in now, if you don't 100% agree with somebody, oh my God, I'm unfriending you from Facebook. Like, bro, I don't agree with my wife every day. I don't agree with my best friend. I don't agree with my mom 9 days out of 10. Like, just because I like some pineapples or some on my pizza. I don't like pineapples on my pizza, but you get where I'm going with it. So I just believe it's bad. It's a bad precedent to be set, because if I say something that the powers that be don't like, they can ban and take all my money and my resources. And that's not good. So that's interesting, because they banned his websites, all that stuff. So let me know what's your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm Orlando Sess. I'm out.